WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Cash Matlock. Developing tonight, residents of Brooksville Manor Apartments escape with the clothes on their back. A late night fire guts one apartment and leaves others at a complete loss from smoke and water damage. Our Savannah Gato spent the day in Brooksville and has their story.
Daylight shows the damage.
Just hurt, disappointed.
Queen Hairston has lost everything.
Well, I came home about 10:45 and I kept smelling smoke. And I went in the house, I started playing my game on the phone, and the apartment kept getting smoking. So I said, let me get up and go see. I said, something ain't right.
Hairston walked outside. That's when she saw smoke coming from the top of the building.
So I ran around the corner to get them out the apartment. By the time I got them out the apartment, the fire started shooting up.
Her neighbors were sleeping. Hairston may have saved their lives.
And I didn't pay any attention because it was late. And then she knocked on my window and she says, the apartments are on fire, get out. And so I just woke up and just grabbed the first thing I saw and I got out. And when I got out, all my TVs started popping and the lights went off.
That's when the fire started blazing. But neighbor Lisa Franklin is grateful to be alive and for Hairston.
Could have died because, like I said, I was in there sleeping, didn't hear anything. Spoke alarm, nothing didn't go off. But I thank God for Quinn. She woke us up.
Reporting in Brooksville, Savannah Gato, WCBI News.
Witnesses say they believe the fire started in a vacant apartment. We're going to have more information as it becomes available.
Some pretty interesting cloud formations out there earlier today. Take a look at this anvil cloud shot looking west from Highway 82. The storm basically got so tall that it couldn't get any taller, so it started spreading out there. And believe it or not, I told you that was from Columbus. That storm was actually all the way out near I-55 in eastern Grenada County. It has since dissipated, and nearly all of us are dry right now. We'll stay that way overnight tonight, a pretty calm and quiet night. Tomorrow, waking up pretty warm already, 82 degrees by 9 a.m. with just a few high clouds passing through. Tomorrow afternoon, though, clouds start to build in a little bit. The chance will be there for a very stray shower or storm like we saw today. Most folks are not going to see any rain tomorrow. That allows our temperatures to climb into the mid and upper 90s in some spots. Tomorrow evening, still pretty hot. We're looking at 88 by the time the sun sets. Again, a stray shower possible, but we're going to stay mild and muggy into the sunset. And unfortunately, the heat and humidity, it's here to stay, but the rain chances do bump up just a little bit. I've got to look at that 7-day forecast and your full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Cash.
All right, thanks, Trevor. Well, the Mississippi State Department of Health reports 527 new cases of COVID-19 with 22 new deaths. And there are 174 active outbreaks among long-term care facilities across the state. And since March 11th, the total number of cases has risen to more than 67,000, with more than 1,800 deaths. It's presumed that more than 42,000 Mississippians have recovered from the virus. 3 different inmates from 3 different facilities died in the hospital over the weekend. Mississippi Department of Corrections says 66-year-old Melvin Earl Thomas from Central Mississippi Correctional Facility died Friday night at Merit Health Rankin. He was sentenced in 2008 to serve 20 years for armed robbery after pleading guilty to holding up a store in Perry County in 2007. 91-year-old J.C. Ormond from Mississippi State Penitentiary died Saturday morning at the prison hospital. Ormond was serving a life sentence for raping a child in 1988 in Lauderdale County. And 48-year-old Carl Shane Cox from the George County Regional Correctional Facility also died Saturday morning at the George County Hospital in Lucedale. Cox was sentenced in January to serve 3 years for false pretense in Harrison County. No foul play is suspected in any of those cases. Well, tonight, 3 men are behind bars for allegedly shooting and killing MHP officer Lieutenant Troy Morris Friday morning. Officers discovered Morris shot to death in his truck. He was working his side job for the U.S. Postal Service. Now, the mother of one of the suspects is speaking out. WLBT's Chelsea Sellers has the story.
I feel like if they helped me when I reached out to them the times I did, all of this could have been prevented.
Deidre Madison is Damian Whitley's mother. The 24-year-old is one of 3 people accused of murdering Mississippi Highway Patrol Lieutenant Troy Morris. His mother says the last time she spoke to him was hours before the crime.
I spoke to him on Thursday about getting his life together because he had got into trouble back in 2018 when he was on house arrest and probation with Natchez probation office. I contacted them to give me help and reach out to me to come check on him.
Madison says her son has a history of mental health problems and a low IQ. While on house arrest in Madison's home, she says his ankle bracelet didn't work properly.
It doesn't get it straight, they was going to put him in jail, which they never did.
Madison is reading messages she sent to Whitley's probation officer, Melvin Davis. At some point, Whitley changed his home address. His mother could no longer get updates about his probation.
I'm not upholding Damien for anything he did. If he did it, he needs to go to prison. But I just want Natchez MDOC to know that they're responsible for losing my child. They lost him to the streets. They never came to check on him. To this day, they haven't checked on him to see where he is. It's like they don't care.
MDOC has not commented on this case for now. Whitley is in Louisiana, waiting to be transported back to Mississippi. Chelsea Sellers, 3 on your side.
A Northeast Mississippi-based disaster relief ministry is helping victims of Hurricane Isaias. Mission teams with 8 Days of Hope are deploying to North Carolina to help those who have been impacted by the hurricane. Heavy equipment leaders and volunteers will work in the hardest hit areas, helping people clean out debris from their homes, along with other needed repairs. Steve Tiber is president of 8 Days of Hope and says the ministry will still serve others in spite of COVID-19.
Do the temperature checks. Of course, we have the hand sanitizer. We do all that we can to be smart. Now, we're men and women of faith, but I also believe that God gives us wisdom, and so we do our best to kind of walk hand in hand with both of those. We're deploying still. Smaller amounts of volunteers. We're not going to rush with 1,000 people somewhere right now, but we're not going to ignore the need right now, and these families in North Carolina need our help.
8 Days of Hope is headquartered in Pontotoc County. Tiber says teams will be in North Carolina for at least a week. Well, the biggest fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Clubs of North Mississippi is going virtual this year. Dance Like the Stars is a virtual event, and the fundraiser features area celebrities who learn a ballroom dance routine and then perform it with a professional instructor. In a typical year, the routine is performed in front of thousands at the Bancorp South Arena. However, the gala is virtual this year, and the dances will be performed live and broadcast on Facebook Live. The dancers are still raising money to help the Boys and Girls Clubs of North Mississippi serve children and teenagers in Ripley, New Albany, Tupelo, and Oxford.
This is over 20% of our budget for our club, so definitely the support that we have received thus far allowed us to open our doors back up, and definitely after COVID we had been closed in March, so our summer months are our highest income months when it comes to our expenses because we have the kids there all day, and so we were able to open back up, run a 6-week program that was very successful.
Our own Allie Martin is co-hosting the event on August 22nd at 6:30 in the evening. Many of the dancers are holding watch parties at restaurants throughout the area. For more information or how to donate, you can go to bgcnms.org. After the break, things get a little cloudy in this week's Weatherwise. We're going to check back in with Trevor next. Don't go anywhere.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 p.m. with Cash Matlock.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, the GTA Kickball League held their annual World Series in remembrance of Lester L.B. Brooks. Brooks was the organizer for the league, but was killed from gun violence in June of 2018. Close friends and family are still remembering him to this day and how he loved to bring the community together.
He really loved kickball, so because of the love that he had for kickball, we want to make sure that we keep honoring him by keeping his legacy alive.
Coming out here and keeping everybody together. I know he's looking down on us right now, smiling, because he just was a people person. He was always about stop the violence, and every time we come out here, we preaching. We preaching stop the gun violence, stop the violence and all, and they just come together and have a good time.
4 teams from around the state competed at today's game. Thunderstorms are a common occurrence here in Mississippi and Alabama, but sometimes cloud formations can still catch our eyes. In this week's Weatherwise, meteorologist Trevor Burchett explains the science behind one of the most jaw-dropping cloud formations, the shelf cloud that is.
We get a lot of weather photos sent into our inbox here at WCBI, but one of the most common photos we get is of a shelf cloud. It's a dark, mean-looking cloud that usually precedes a line of thunderstorms. But have you ever wondered what causes these clouds and how they form? Well, the first thing that you should know is that these clouds look a lot scarier than they actually are. These shelf clouds usually aren't associated with a tornado. Rather, it usually means some gusty winds are on the way. They're most commonly seen on the front side of thunderstorms as they move in. See, ahead of the storm, warm air is rising to provide energy to the storm. Meanwhile, just inside the storm, cold air is falling out as it rains. This sharp temperature contrast leads to a cloud forming on the edge of the storm, and that's how we get a shelf cloud. Now, once this cloud passes over you, it won't be long before you experience gusty winds, heavy rain, and maybe even some hail. So if you see something like this coming at you, be sure to head inside. Now, if you've seen an interesting cloud formation that you want us to explain, you can send it in to us, and we'd love to do that for you. You can reach us via email at weather@wcbi.com and also on our Facebook and Twitter pages. For now, I'm meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
WeatherWise is brought to you by 4 County Electric Power Association. Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Well, hot and humid is just about the only way you can describe today. Temperatures got up into the mid and upper 90s, and unfortunately, the heat and humidity is here to stay. That's 2 of our big points for the week. Heat index values going to be approaching 105 at times, especially tomorrow, maybe even a little more than that. The good news is we are going to increase our rain chances just a little bit, and that's good news because if you're lucky enough to get caught in one of those downpours, it will actually knock your temperature down a few degrees. So not everybody going to see rain every single day, but as I mentioned, those chances are going to go up. Tomorrow, we're going to leave it at a 20% chance. Same as today, not everybody going to see rain, but there could be an isolated downpour around. After that, 40 to 50% chance of rain each and every afternoon through the weekend. Again, this is not a widespread rain event, but some isolated showers and storms likely each afternoon. And like I said, if you're lucky enough, some of those showers will help to cool you down just a little bit. I want to show you something interesting that happened earlier today. We had a 5.1 magnitude earthquake that struck in northwestern North Carolina. And because of the Appalachian Mountains, this was actually felt as far away as northern Alabama, northern Georgia, through much of the Virginias and off to the coast of the Carolinas. So pretty interesting this time of year to see something like that. Some reports of damage there as well, but luckily no reports of serious injuries. Here locally, not a whole lot going on. We had one little shower in eastern Grenada County earlier, just a few high clouds passing through. Generally, we are dry and clear across the area right now. You'll see that outside on the Alpha Insurance Camera Network. It's still muggy though, even though the skies are pretty starry. 79 degrees right now, and that humidity is going to continue overnight tonight. 73 for the low, pretty mild and muggy as I mentioned, but overall not a bad night. Wind's going to remain generally calm, just very light out of the southeast, up to about 2 or 3 miles an hour. Tomorrow, we're basically going to copy and paste what we saw today. A mix of some sunshine and clouds through the day, maybe an isolated shower. Most folks don't see rain. That allows the temperatures to warm up. We're looking at 97 for the high in Columbus, 94 in Louisville, 95 for our high tomorrow in Calhoun City. And unfortunately, much of the same across the area. 95 in Eupora, 97 tomorrow for the high in Macon. And the heat index value is going to be even higher than that. As I mentioned, over 105 degrees through the afternoon and evening. And folks along and north of Highway 82 are in a heat advisory for tomorrow. That means the heat could be dangerous if you're spending a lot of time outside. South of 82 and West Alabama, not in that advisory, but don't let that fool you. It is still going to be hot and humid, regardless of if you're in the heat advisory or not. That continues, though, through the next several days. You see that on the comfort index. The humidity really rises here over the next several days. By the weekend, we're going to be even more hot and humid. But as I mentioned, rain chances could help us out just a little bit. We've got a stationary front setting up just to our north, that high pressure down there in the Gulf helping to bring in some moisture. So the chance will be there for some isolated to scattered showers and storms each afternoon, but don't bet on it. It's probably still going to be pretty hot and humid. Here's the AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, mostly dry, just very hot, 97 for the high. Rain chances continue through the week and into the weekend. Temperatures just a little bit lower. We're looking at lower 90s by the weekend. Still pretty hot, though. Overnight lows in the low to mid 70s. So I think we're going to be hoping for some rain. It's not often we hope for rain, but I mean, even today I was like, okay, can we get a quick downpour or something? It was hot.
I got you, Trevor. Well, me and the floor director, Will, were just talking about how your little emoji guy that you used, he kind of looks like a South Park character.
He does.
He kind of looks like Carson.
That's what everybody's going to be looking like, sweating.
You may get hit with a lawsuit soon.
Hey, it's in the system. I can use it.
I'm just kidding. All right, thanks, Trevor. Well, a school survival kit for teachers is coming your way next on this week's Mom to Mom. Stay with me. Welcome back, everyone. Back to school is getting a little easier. Today on Mom to Mom, the school survival kit that every teacher must have. Take a look.
Today on Mom to Mom, we have a perfect DIY back-to-school teacher gift idea. The first day of school can be quite stressful for your little ones, and with this fun little teacher survival kit, it's a perfect way to kind of break the ice and get your kids right in there and have fun with the teacher. It's really super easy to make. You can get a pencil box in the school supplies aisle. You can print these little fun printouts online and then just kind of gather some goodies that helps the teacher get through her week because she's super busy as well. So I've included in mine something caffeine, so a $5 Starbucks gift card. It can be any amount, but we did $5. Hand sanitizer because, of course, survival mode. And then some chocolate because who doesn't love chocolate? And it gives you a little pick-me-up during the week. This is a really fun project to do. Take your kids to the store, let them pick something out that they think the teacher would like, take it home, put the box together, and then send them off to school the next day, and hopefully their stress won't be so high and they'll have a little fun with it. If you've got some great ideas that you do with your kids for the first day of school, we'd love to hear them. You could always post it to our Mom to Mom Facebook page, and as always, moms, we'll see you on the next Mom to Mom.
Itawamba is the next stop on the high school football tour. WCBI Sports is after the break. Stay with us.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb. WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour is brought to you by Itawamba Community College, Cannon Ford of Starkville, Monroe County Farm Bureau, Max South Broadband, and the Bank of Vernon.
The 2019 season was one to remember for the Itawamba AHS Indians. Itawamba finished the regular season undefeated before losing the team's first game to the eventual 4A state champs, the Corinth Warriors, in the third round of the playoffs, 44-31. That high standard of success is what the Indians set for themselves every year.
Our expectations for our kids and the expectation our community has with them and is a pride thing, and they got a tradition here of winning, and that's what we expect to do, and they know that, and they feel it in the community, they feel it here at school, and it's a thing of having some pride about our program, and it helps us become better players, better men. We're excited to see what they can do this year.
Expectations don't change. They're always the same every year. It's always one game at a time, but we just look forward to division championships. Our goal is just win and beat everybody on the way.
One key to the Indians' competitive success on the field is the players' competitive edge with each other during practices.
In some sense, they want to be that next guy up. They're battling for positions, and a lot of times when you got guys battling for spots, it helps. It definitely helps. Competitions it brings out the best in each one of them, and I've been proud of our guys this summer and how they've worked and competed.
The Indians have a couple of key spots open to compete for. Itawamba loses former wide receiver Davian Sistrunk and running back Ike Chandler. While losing two offensive weapons is a big loss for the Indians, it just comes with Itawamba's territory.
Both of them are phenomenal players for us, and every year a new person comes up. A new person steps into that role and fills it, and I can think back through the years. This will be my 14th year coming up, being here, and I think back to the years, all the players that have come out of nowhere that stepped up to be huge players for us, and all the players that play for us have a big time role for us, and it's one of them things where different players. It's exciting to me to see, hey, who's going to be that guy? Who's going to step up to the challenge? And they always do.
Oh, it just motivates us to fill those spots because the other guys, they want to be as good as those guys, and just fill their shoes best they can.
Like every year, Itawamba hopes to keep the division crown in Fulton.
Got to go back and get more this year. Just every year fighting for division champs, playoff run, just trying to strive to be better than we were the year before.
They're gritty, they're extremely gritty. They're hard workers. You know, just like kind of a mold every year. That's the kind of same type deal. Is they work hard and they get in there. They, you know, in the weight room, they're extremely hard workers. Conditioning, they're working hard out here at practice. They get after and compete, and you know, all those things, you know, add up to success, and that's what we try to strive for.
The Indians start the season against Saltillo at home on September 4th. With Itawamba AHS on the high school football tour, Courtney Robb, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Sports 2020 High School Football Tour with Itawamba Agricultural High School is brought to you by Midway Marine in Fulton.
Staying hot and humid here for the next several days. 97 for the high tomorrow with the heat index much higher than that. Rain chances go up through the week, but still not everybody going to see rain. What is going to stay the same, though, is the heat and humidity, unfortunately.
Don't even remind me.
I
All right,
know.
thanks, Trevor. Thank you guys for watching us. From all of us here at WCBI News, good night.